You're listening to the sounds of Trinidad and Tobago with DJ Nasty Nige.
So a very good evening and welcome to the Property Hour Show live on Star Radio UK. And tonight it's a great privilege to come your way. It's the 20 what? Which of the 25th of February 2021. And look, why are you so excited, Vicky?
Well, you are getting on top with the date.
Oh, okay.
You must have had a nice day.
In all things, we have to give thanks, and we are here by grace, and so excited to be here, and I'm glad that we've all been able to make it, and so we have to always be on top, be upbeat, be positive. And whatever it is, I believe that everything is possible. We can conquer. As I always say, that the battle of life is won in the mind. So when your mind is set, your mind is positive, there's nothing that you cannot achieve. Make sure that you have a positive mindset, whether in business, whatever, whether in marriage, whether in education, whatever sphere of life that you are in. I believe that you'll be able to win by having a positive mentality, believing that you will do it, you can make it, and everything is possible if only you believe. So tonight, once again, is the Property Hour Show with myself, KB Bossman, and Vicky Newton, my co-host. And we have a very, very special guest. He needs no introduction, but hey, he is a man of his word, and he is so endowed with so much knowledge and in his field. So he's taking time to work it out, and he's here. And so tonight I'm so excited that he has been able to join us. He's none other than Mr. William P.W. Omony, who is the director for Proactive Consult and PWO Finance. The Proactive Consult, they are property accountants. So I said one of the programs that if you're looking for an accountant, if you're into property, then please make sure you get the right accountant. But I have myself, I have other accountants, so let me put it that way. But everybody, like doctors, we have specialists for everything. So get a proactive consult to be doing your books if you're in the industry, the property industry. And they also have good finance opportunities. If you're a first-time buyer, you've got adverse credit, whatever it is, they'll be able to help you out. And you've got to look out for them on all social media platforms, PWO Finance and Proactive Consult. They will do you some good. But hey, let me acknowledge our sponsors for tonight. CIG Properties. CIG Properties, in other words, they are also Cornerstone International Group Limited. They trade as CIG Properties. They are a UK-based property management company. And if you're looking for mortgages, or you're looking for your property to be managed, or you're looking to sell, whatever it is when it comes to properties, even to clean, they will be able to help you out and make sure that your property is in the best of shape and you get value for your money as well, for your property as well. So everything is good to do with property. You can contact them on www.cigpropertyuk. So it's not properties, but CIG propertyuk.com, and you'll be able to get hold of them. And also, let me acknowledge our sponsors that have been doing some marvelous work for us. Is the M&M Concept. They are the designers of our beautiful flyers. But also, if you're looking to go into printing in terms of your books or any type of printing, look no further. M&M Concept will do justice, do some fabulous, fantastic work for you. They are based in Ghana. Their prices are very, very competitive. So it's a global market as we speak, as you know. So you don't have to worry about location. They will do justice to your the service you need from them. So get in contact with them. You can come through us in the studios. Is 0208 133 2257, and we'll be able to help you out to connect you to M&M Concept. And also, last but not the least, is Mea Associate. Mea Associates is a project management company in Ghana. They are the project managers for your housing projects, whether you're building a hospital or your residential home. Mea Associate will be able to hold your hands, start from scratch to finish, and hand you the keys. And so if you are in the nation of Ghana, you are in the diaspora, you've burned your fingers, you're looking for a credible, authentic company to help you finish your dream home or your next project, they'll be able to help you out. So Mea Associate will do that as well for you. You can contact them through us. You can get a good discount. It's 0208 133 2257 and 0208 133 2258, and we'll be able to connect you to Mea Associates as well. So let me go straight to our special guest, Mr. Omony. Welcome once again to the Property Hour Show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Wonderful. And Vicky, how are you doing? I can't hear you at all, Vicky. I think you...
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Yes, I said I miss you.
Oh, how wonderful. Wow. No comment on that, but
it's genuine.
It's genuine. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to know if it's genuine.
Okay.
How long you leave me in here? I hope all is well and the family is well as well.
How was your day, Bossman? How was your day?
It's been challenging, but I always overcome. So by the grace of God, yeah. So I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. But hey, so Mr. Omony, we left the last time you were on. We discussed some amazing stuff when it comes to mortgage, but tonight we are shifting grounds to commercial finance and buy to let. Amazingly, I would love for us to talk about commercial finance, because buy to let, there are questions that we will want to dive into and get more time for. So if we can quickly handle commercial finance, and then we can come to the buy to let mortgages, where I believe loads of our majority of our listeners are key as well. So what is commercial finance, Mr. Omony, please?
Wow, I hope I'm not going to be quoted for the legality.
The legality.
But, yeah.
Then let me also say that just a disclaimer. So the content of this program, it's not to advise anybody, but please, if you want to make a decision, make sure that you make contact and or consult the experts and also the professionals in the field that you're looking to make a decision. And so as we roll from here, Mr. Omony, please.
Thank you very much. At least that caveat, helps me a lot. If in any case somebody calls me to court, I'll have something to stand upon.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the case with commercial finance is that you're purely looking at financing a property or a business proposition with property as the asset that's actually providing the collateral, then the bank lending you money.
Right.
Now, that the beauty of this is in the flexibility.
Okay.
In other words, you can actually use the finance to do other activities, not necessarily to finance the purchase of a property. Now, the beauty with commercial finance is that you can use it both for residential properties and for commercial properties, as in, like offices, business premises, all sorts of things. And the back of it is that with all that flexibility, for as long as it is not an owner-occupier asset, somebody will have access to a pool of liquidity that they can use and use their property as the collateral to actually get that money. So in a nutshell, it's still property financing. The only difference is that you're looking at either an investment property, or you're looking at by an investment property I mean a property that is used for business purposes, or at least you're buying it with investment as the main objective.
Right.
So, yeah, let me say, in short form, that is it. However, the purpose for which you can borrow commercial finance is quite varied. If say maybe you needed money to start a business, and you do not have that money on you, however, you have an investment property, or at least a property that is used for commercial purposes, that is business purposes, you can use that as a basis to actually get capital. If you say have a tax bill to pay, and just recently HMRC was giving some people like some say an allowance, but it's almost ending on the 28th of Feb. So if you need money and you don't have access to it now, you can literally use your property to actually get some money using a commercial finance facility to pay your tax bills. So I would just say, in short, you can use it for any business purpose with property as the collateral. But that property does not, this is where the caveat is. If it is an owner-occupier, you will never use commercial finance for it. However, if it is
owner-occupier, if you can...
as in you own it and you live in it, then you can't use it.
Like a residential...
Yes. You can use it for... that's exactly what I was trying to dodge, so that it doesn't...
Okay.
Yeah. You can still use it for a residential property for as long as you, the owner of the residential property, does not live in that property. If that property is being used for business purposes, you can very much use a commercial finance facility. Now, the caveat there is that most people, most lenders, when you're going for a commercial finance facility, they'll ask you, like, is there a tenancy agreement, all sorts of things. In most cases, they're trying to identify who is living in the asset, and are there maybe multiple people, in which case it's a HMO, or is it let out one family? If it is let out one family, then that straight away goes into a buy-to-let arena. I hope that clarifies it.
Right, okay. It sounds very interesting, but with some complexities in it. Is it not? Is that not true? It sounds very straightforward, but it looks like it's got some complexities. Like,
I look at it as a point of giving. Let's look at it from an angle of somebody who is maybe having one single property, and they want to get the maximum possible out of their property. Say you have a 2-bedroom house. If you let it out to one family, you'd be letting it out, say maybe, for argument's sake, for $500 a month. And the mortgage bill may be around $300. So at the end, you're left with almost nothing to actually sustain your business. However, if that property is let out to more than 2 people, say you let it out to 3 people, then the rental that you'll be getting from that property is close to probably $1,000 or $1,500. But the mortgage that you'll be paying probably $300 to $400. So the rates are not so far different from buy to let. However, it allows you room to actually tenant the property to more than one person. So it's more of a beauty, I would say.
That sounds very very interesting. Vicky, do you want to come in?
Yes. How long is the commercial mortgage?
It very much varies on your negotiating abilities.
Yes.
Yeah, some people take it for 2 years, some people 5, some people 10 years. Some time back, it used to take longer. However, with the coming of the PRA regulations, the Prudential Regulatory Authority regulations, that's from the Bank of England, the issue of stress testing mortgages to make sure that if in any case people landed into problems, they don't suffer the catastrophic consequences of, say, maybe losing the property or all sorts of those things. That made 2-year fixes and 5-year fixes the best kind of mortgages that kind of puts you in a position where they don't have to means test you on how you're running your business. That's if you do property as a business.
Yeah, Vicky, go on. I think you're...
Yeah. Yes, I also wanted to find out how much is the interest?
The interest is actually relative. I always look at interest rates on on mortgages as a continuum. And on that continuum, there are two extremes. There are extremes of people who really have terrible credit rating, and those are people who have the adverse credit. And there are people who are really excellent, and those are people who probably have savings, are always paying their direct debits and bills on time, then have a reasonable income, a decent income. So those people have completely different rates for which they're charged when they go to ask for a mortgage. The people with excellent credit, actually right now, we have some commercial finance facilities that are going for around 3.5. One of our good colleagues has now introduced a new facility, which is at around 3.75. That is still almost in the range of a normal buy-to-let. While on the other side, I know of somebody, because of their bad credit rating, they actually took a commercial facility at almost 10%, which is worse than a bridge finance facility. You see? So it's more of a continuum. Then in the middle, there are all sorts of people. So you literally oscillate on that continuum depending on how you actually handle and manage your finances.
Okay, so how about the fees? The fees, that's it. Is it different from buy-to-let, arranging a buy-to-let mortgage as compared to commercial?
No, the way you arrange it is almost the same. The only difference is the usage of the property.
Oh, okay.
And there are some commercial facilities which are actually much cheaper than buy-to-lets.
There are some commercial funds that are cheaper than buy-to-lets.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. That sounds incredible, because like the one you mentioned, you said somebody got 10 what?
10%.
10%.
Yeah, per annum.
So what are they in business for? Unless maybe
actually the thing with that client is that they were smart in what they're doing. It boils back to the first primary thinking of any business. As long as you're not losing money, you are in good business. Now, this is somebody who bought a property at a very high rate. But when we're talking of, if I may pick up a hypothetical number, somebody buys a property for 120,000 on a commercial finance facility, buys, say, a 3-bed for 120. Of course, that's not London. In London, you can't get such a thing. But then when they buy it for 120, 130, say somewhere in northeast or northwest, turn a 3-bed into, say, a 5-bed HMO.
Yeah.
Immediately, instead of letting it, say, having one property that you're letting to one person for, say, $500 a month, you have one single property that you're letting to 5 people, and each is probably paying you £350 a month.
Yeah.
So instead of you now looking at your income at only $500 a month, you're looking at probably 1,300 or 1,400. Okay, let's say for argument's sake, £1,200 a month.
Yeah.
So at that point, even if you're paying 12% per annum, you can still live with it. I was actually having a discussion with a couple of friends today. It's along the same line of how to make, I literally call it decision making when you're taking up a mortgage. Most of the times, what we ask for first is, how much does it cost me?
Yeah. And
that is not a wrong question. However, don't let that question alone drive your decision making.
Okay.
Immediately you ask yourself, how much is it costing me? Your next question should be, okay, if this is what it's going to be costing me, are there other cheaper alternatives? If this is the only alternative I have, then the next question should be, how much am I going to be earning in comparison to how much I'll be spending? And trust me, all across the world, the best companies that you look across the board, all the major companies that are doing really well are on top of their games. They focus on what kind of revenue an asset can bring or any talent can bring rather than the cost. They don't ignore the cost. However, their focus is not on the cost. Their focus is on how much revenue they can raise from any asset. With asset, I mean even people. If you hire somebody who does not focus on creating value, you literally keep paying and paying and paying without any return on the person whom you've hired.
Yeah.
The same thing applies to property. If you only buy a property because you want your name on the property, you'll buy a loss-making asset, and every month you'll have to pay out to actually maintain the asset. So please focus on both. Look at the cost, but don't ignore the revenue. That is the most important part.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. And I like what you said about don't focus on how much it's going to cost you. I mean, you just before coming to the studio, I had a friend send me a deal up north of the UK, and guess what? It's a 3-bed. Yeah, it's a 3-bed, and it's costing under 25 grand. And
For you have a nice deal there.
It's quite interesting, you know. So instantly, my one of my friends, I sent it to him. He was jumping and saying, we have to have a conversation. I said, okay, calm down. It's a great deal, but as you're saying, you also have to find out if it's possible to do those kind of works and extension and all the stuff before you get into it, because the local housing rate in that area is quite low. You know, it's quite low, so you have to find ways. I think you said it all. You have to be more creative to be able to maximize your investment. So I side with you on that, very, very much so. Now, in terms of the commercial finance, it does not. It looks and it sounds as if it's not. It does not only relate to property when it comes to commercial finance. Does it relate to just properties?
It does relate to properties.
Right.
However, the way in which it relates to properties is that the collateral is a property. Okay. As in, it's only offered to you when you have something to back it up. And whatever let me say, okay, say you want $500. Let's make it real life. You want $500 right now, and you say, hey, look, Nikki, give me $500. I have my property, which is say a residential property or an office.
Yeah.
You attach a charge. I'll sign your papers and give me that money, so that when anything goes wrong, you have my property as the collateral. So what you do with the money, yes, Nikki may still ask and say, hey, look, what are you going to be doing with that money? However, that is only to make sure that you are within the limits of anti-money laundering. But as a matter of fact, as long as you have an asset which has to have a commercial activity taking place in, then it straight away works out to be a commercial mortgage.
Right. Very interesting. If you just join us, you're live on Star Radio UK. The program is the Property Hour Show, and our very special guest tonight is Mr. William P.W. Omony, and with my co-host Vicky Newton. Vicky, do you want to have another go before we jump to buy-to-let mortgages? Or
I think I'm done. I'll just wait for buy-to-let.
Oh, why so? Okay, all right, okay.
Have we identified a buy-to-let property, Vicky?
No. But you know what? With what has been discussed, initially I thought, commercial buy-to-let was a Herculean task. It's so complicated. But with what you've, explained to us, I've now realized that it's the same as buy-to-let. So at least I'm rest assured that if anything like that come my way, I have to grab it with both hands.
I'm glad.
Okay, sounds good. And if you have any questions or contributions, please do not hesitate. You can send it through our social media handles, or you can also call through. We might not be able to open the phone lines, but when you can send us a text messages or send us on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 07539 661744. That's 07539 661744. And our guest will do very well to answer your questions. Okay, so let's quickly move to buy-to-let. Now, in terms of buy-to-let, what is so unique about buy-to-let? What is buy-to-let?
Just like you said it, buy-to-let.
Buy with the intention of renting it.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's buy-to-let and there's also let to buy. So when you go into, then possibly.
Yep.
Yes, please.
That's true. I'll not discuss let to buy because of the regulations and all the other things, because it's purely looking at a product that is, let me say, there are ramifications for me to start discussing that. But at least I can, to a reasonable extent, discuss buy-to-let. Now, when you're looking at buy-to-let, just like the name says, you're buying so that you can let it out. Maybe let me say the salient feature of a buy-to-let is that you have one family to which you're letting your property to. So, say my good brother KB is coming from Ghana and says, "Hey William, look, my property and my part is already taken up. I've let it to somebody, but I need somewhere where I can stay for a couple of months." Then when you give me that call, I'm like, all right. Actually, my good friend Vicky has just bought a property somewhere, and she's looking for somebody to stay in it. If you can actually just show us that you meet the basic criteria, we let it to you, and straight away we will let it to you to actually live in it.
Right.
While you just pay rent for the privilege to live in that property. Pure, basic, simple buy to let.
It sounds so simple, so straightforward. But it looks like there are some complications to it, because I'm very much aware that the Bank of England clamped down on like buy-to-let mortgages. Is it a couple of years ago? Because
Okay.
I mean, basically they were looking to make things difficult for landlords to get into buy-to-let. Meanwhile, I think that it should be made easier.
Okay. Now, it's going to be hard for me to comment on whether the Bank of England was making it hard. But I'll try and look at probably the wider, say, how buy-to-let fits within the economy.
Right.
Probably that can give you a little bit of a picture. The way the buy-to-let market is actually designed is that somebody goes to the bank and borrows money against a property. And banks are regulated by the Bank of England. So much so that if anything goes wrong between the bank that lends the money and the person who is borrowing, that effect can have a dangerous repercussion on the economy, given the size of the buy-to-let market in monetary value.
Right.
So if we go back to pre-2007, 2008, when there was literally, you could get 125% mortgage. So in effect, you're actually being paid to take a mortgage. That would be dangerous if somebody fails to pay. So what the bank looked at was that, why don't we have a system where if there's a shock to the economy, even if it's in any other field, say employment or right now the lockdown, if people can't pay, whoever will have borrowed, the buy-to-let mortgage can still actually meet their expenses.
Right.
And that is where the whole process came into kind of a regulatory environment. So is the bank trying to get people not to borrow? I don't think that is the case. Actually, if you look at it now, we are under lockdown, but you can't imagine how much deals are going right now in the market so that people can actually buy, more buy-to-lets. And even with the regulations, if you take a 2-year fix, or I think even a 5-year fix, there are actually relaxed systems to get you to acquire buy-to-let property. The only thing is that you're not going to get a 125%. I saw today one of the lenders have moved up they're literally offering 90%. So
for buy-to-let.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. But I don't think that's going to be holding on for many days.
Oh, not even for not even for months, but not days, but just Why do you think so?
What I know is that there's a lot of activity going on. There are many people who are buying right now. It's mostly because of, I don't know if you guys are aware, there's what we call a holiday that's going on.
Yeah.
We call it an SDLT holiday.
Yes.
So that if you complete your purchases before the 31st of March, you're literally given, some, look at it like the taxman is also a generous guy. He's trying to say, hey, look, I'll give you guys something off. So that has actually given more motivated some people to go and buy more. And in the process, many people are saying we want to buy. And the banks now have to work hard to make sure that they actually complete before the 31st of March. Hopefully, the chancellor next week will announce that he will extend. Whether he will, nobody knows. But rumors are already running around that he's going to be extending. The SDFT holiday, and if he does, I'm sure many more people are going to be buying. And as such, for your colleague who was probably fearing that somebody's making the market hard for him, he'll find some very good relief and go buy more with less.
Okay. Vicky, you come in, and after I'm going to come back to the 90%.
Okay.
The 90% lender. If that sounds too good to be true.
Okay. Can one stay with the current lender? If you have a lender, can you stay with that lender in the buy-to-let?
Yes, you can. You mean when the term has come to an end?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Look, it's more of a look at all this in the line of the legality. Yeah. If say maybe you're after buying, you after getting anything on a contractual basis, all you have to do is agree the terms. And if both parties agree a term, and in which case, the basic issues of offer contract have to apply. So offer, consideration, and acceptance. If those three things happen, so say you have your buy-to-let, and it's almost coming to its term end, then you realize, oh, look, these guys have been good to me. I would like to extend it. All you have to say is, you guys, I would like to stay with you. And if they are happy to have you, they'll say, all right, we'll give you these terms. Are you happy with it? Then you say, yes, I am. And straight away, you actually extend your mortgage. That could be without valuation, or for some, they'll say, look, let's go through the process again. We value the property, see if in any case it's still good for us. And then on that basis, we will lend you. So it's very much based on the agreement between the two parties.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Can one transfer buy-to-let property into a limited company?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
However, there are, if I leave that without a caveat, somebody may end up tomorrow walking and saying, hey, look, I've transferred, take it into a company, not knowing that it will be, coming back to bite them. When you move ownership from personal name into a company, in effect, they're calling it a deemed sale. So they look at the way they recognize it is that you've actually sold the property from yourself to a company. So even if you made no money or made no profit, this is not the case here. The issue is it's a deemed sale, and as such, it's a sale. And there are ramifications for that. So things like, the stamp duty taxes, capital gains taxes, and all sorts of things may actually arise. So before you do that, make sure that you actually seek the right advice.
Okay, I've got a colleague who sent me a question. He's saying that I currently own buy-to-let property in just my name.
Yes.
But want my spouse to be a shareholder in the company. Would this be an issue?
No, hang on a second. Those are two different issues. He or she has said, I own in my name.
Yes.
Then you bring in a husband who owns shares. Those are two different.
Okay.
First of all, it's already in your name.
How about adding her name to his name?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's just a point of literally any transaction between a husband and a wife is not subject to taxation.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you need to do it right. If you don't do it right, it may, end up costing you a lot of money. So I'll still say, seek some advice. Talk to some people who can actually help you.
Oh, okay. Okay, but can one take a single mortgage out on all their buy-to-let properties?
Now, those are two different questions trying to answer the same thing.
Okay.
When you take, say, 6, 7, or 100 properties, and compound them together into one single finance facility, you're literally doing portfolio financing.
Right.
It's not, so it kind of goes away from the remit of buy-to-let. I would say, still, it is possible to have one single facility for all the properties together, but it will be under portfolio finance facility rather than, single buy-to-let. Buy-to-let is it still remains that buy-to-let. Whenever you find yourself asking some questions, just go back to the name, and the name can direct you to what you can or you can't do with it.
Oh, okay. But will one have to pay capital gains tax on buy-to-let?
Yes, you do. Okay, have I answered that question? The question?
Yeah. That was what I was expecting.
Okay.
And I guess the stamp duty wouldn't affect whether it's buy-to-let or commercial. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You are exempt, isn't it?
No. Stamp duty is chargeable. It is chargeable.
Is it?
Hang on. If you already own the buy-to-let and you sell it, the stamp duty is not chargeable on you, the person who is selling it.
Right.
It's chargeable on the person who is buying it.
I see. Okay.
So with you, when you sell, you're not going to be kind of, let me say the taxman won't come knocking on your door to say, hey, pay us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. Thank you very much. Over to you, KBA.
Sorry, I can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Thanks for those powerful questions, Vicky. I was going to say that, William, in what is... Okay, I've got a question here, but I was going to ask mine before the question, but let me attend to the listener first. So the listener is saying that
I would say it is possible. It is possible for you to actually get into into buy-to-let market. Right. However, the way in which you actually get there is a little bit different, because at the end of the day, if it is regulated to a point where they say, because you're a first-time guy and then you can't get into buy-to-let, literally they'll be telling you, you cannot do this business and you can do the other. That defeats the fundamentals of capitalism. Now, you can indeed get there, but not every lender will be happy with you, because most lenders will want at least whoever is going into buy-to-let to at least show that they can run the business and probably they already own a property to their names.
So let's say the person, what about if they go in not as an individual but as a company to get into buy-to-let?
That's exactly why I said it is possible for anybody to actually get into buy-to-let without having owned already a property to their name. Right. The only thing is that the way in which you actually do it won't be, not every lender is going to be happy with you to actually finance it. But yes, it is possible. If the buy-to-let end is not going to work for you in getting you a buy-to-let property, commercial mortgage will actually do it for you.
Okay, all right. And my other question that I wanted to ask is that you talked about companies offering 90%. What is the normal kind of rate to get into?
There's no such a thing as normal rate.
I mean, because we've been used to like 20%, isn't it?
20%.
20.
As in your 80%.
Oh, yeah. No, a deposit. Sorry, a deposit of 20%. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. If I may, maybe I could give you a little bit of history. Only that I can see you're already out of time.
Right.
When we had a 125%,
we have sorry to step in. We have another 10 10, 15 minutes,
Okay.
so we're fine. Yeah.
All right. So in pre 2007, 2008,
Yeah.
we've had 125% mortgages on the market.
That was sweet.
Then came the financial crisis,
Yeah.
and that made things a little bit tighter, so that we moved away from that kind of lending. That's where the 80% came in. Actually, 80% became almost like the norm. It's not that it's that magical number that everybody has to have 20%, then you can buy. Actually, even then, if maybe you are a bank customer who has a massive portfolio, you could still get something reasonably more. Then came the regulations that were coming out of, literally, I would say there was almost like, I don't like the word rebellion. There was this kind of people not being very happy that the whole economy was tanking because of the banking system. They were literally, everybody was blaming the bank, the banks and the bankers for the economy's problems. And that,
Mr. William, just 1 second. I think one of us has got either a radio or a TV on.
Not me.
I can hear some feedback, possibly. Right. Okay. I think it's okay now. Yes. Please go on.
Yeah. So when everybody, I think you remember the protests and all sorts of things going around saying, let's discipline the bankers.
Yeah.
It's almost like going back to Shakespeare's days in Elizabeth's time when they were saying, let's go and kill all the lawyers. When that came into effect, straight away, the understanding was that the system needs some changes. Even if you can't see the changes now, at least people need to see that something is being done. So that's when these regulations started coming in, that, look, you cannot give, at least somebody has to put in something.
Yeah.
And people saying, 20%, some 10%, until the closure, as in when we came to, when the first lockdown was coming in, that's when the issue of gearing buy-to-lets became again a case of, caution, as in if somebody has tenants who are not paying, what will happen? Can the person still sustain? And that's where even bridging facilities, which normally were going up to 70-75%, almost vanished. They came to 50 and near 50, either on the north or the south side. Right now, actually, I think last week is when we saw 85% facilities coming on road. And I was like, wow, it looks like we're going really good. And slowly but surely, we are getting to a point where you'll see even us going close enough. I would say for experienced buy-to-let property investors, we are going to see more and more of the highly geared facilities coming on the market. But at the moment, it's the first-time buyers who are really getting a good deal. Some people are even getting up to 95%. However, I can't discuss
details about that. Okay, that's pretty okay. So if you're looking to get your next buy to let, then you know who to make contact with, as Mr. William. He's more than ready to give you all the advice and guidance to make the right decision, so you know what to do. But also in terms of the whole process, I know you can't take us through the A to Z, but what are the relevant and most important documentation, or what one needs to do to get a buy-to-let mortgage?
ID, proof of address, proof of income, and a little bit of a deposit.
Proof of income, how many months?
That depends. That depends. I would say if you have a contract, that's much better, because then it tells you when you started and what time you actually applying for it. Yeah, your contract is the best. But normally you'll find that is pay slips that these guys are so much happy with. So if you have pay slips, you say 3 months could just be enough.
Okay. And you mentioned IDs and also the wage slips and all the bits and pieces. Now, how different are the documentation between getting a residential mortgage and a buy-to-let? Are they the same documents or they are slightly different?
Yeah, they're different. Okay, because of the regulations in owner-occupier, I know by residential you are referring to owner-occupiers.
Yes.
When you're looking at an owner-occupier, the regulations are really tight.
Right.
It's just for the buyer's own good. They'll try and do more. We call it means testing, yes, but it's much more than just means testing. They want to make sure that, look, when things go bad, at least the person has enough room to maneuver through the hard times, so that the bank doesn't come taking the property of the person. So yes, there'll be always much more tests. And now that you have 95% facilities for first-time buyers, they'll always look at testing them more to make sure that, when hard time comes, they can actually go through it without all the problems that come with that. Because you remember when I told you that when you look at the mortgage market, we are talking of, I think, one of the biggest debt facilities that, if in any case things go wrong at a massive scale, it may have serious repercussions for the economy. So because of that, everybody's cautious. Maybe just as a by the way, recently the Bank of England governor actually did announce that banks need to prepare for negative interest. Now
negative interest.
Yeah. So in effect, the banks will be holding. You'll have to pay the banks to keep your money. Which is a little bit, let me say, it doesn't make sense. If I'm giving you my money to go and invest, why should I be the one to pay for it? Instead, you're supposed to pay me for using my money.
But so it looks like the banks are already doing it.
Not yet, at least not now. Not now.
Okay.
However, down the road, somebody has to start assessing for themselves that how will that actually affect my buy-to-let business?
Right.
Because if you don't, it may be something that may catch you unaware and not with very good consequences.
Okay. I've got there's a very interesting contribution or question. So I've got Koa Santi on Facebook saying that he says, we are keen to hear more about the 90% deals.
Wow.
So,
I wish I could. Unfortunately, the lenders don't pay me for,
to advertise, to market for them. So, okay, that's a brother and friend. So, George, you know what it is. You know how to get in contact with Mr. William, or you can go through me, and he'll be more than happy to give you all the information behind closed doors, if I can put it that way. So let me also ask this question. I've heard in terms of salary for buy to let, if somebody wants to get into buy to let, is there a salary minimum threshold?
No. Okay. Let's look at it in real life. For example, the property that somebody brought to you for 25 grand.
Yeah.
Why would you ask somebody to earn 25,000 a year just so that he can buy a 25k property? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So every single financing facility has to be based on facts. Not because somebody is making a regulation and saying, hey, look, you have to follow this regulation as a must. So what happens is that there's what we call a means testing. Sometimes they'll tell you 4%, 4 times. So in other words, your income compared to how much you can borrow will be 4 times the value of the asset that you're actually trying to buy.
Right.
Yeah. So that way it makes life a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say 4 times, I'm not saying the 4 is actually written in stone. It's very much flexible, and it's okay. Maybe this could help somebody out there who is trying to get into the property market. When you're looking at investments in property, you need to look at it from a risk perspective. As in, sit down and say, okay, if I buy this property, what are the things that can go wrong? And if you can imagine all those things that can go wrong, then on the other side, start looking at it that, okay, if all this can go wrong, if in any case these things happen, what can I do to actually make sure that when this goes wrong, I'm not going to be affected adversely because of that event? And immediately you have your list, and you have on the other side all, what you can do to make sure that things don't go wrong. Then the issue of how much income should I have, the issue of, should I get a 100% mortgage, or all the other things, they won't apply to you.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just about the concept. And by the way, now I hope I'm not going to be quoted for this. If somebody is already in the buy-to-let market, and say they have 1 or 2 properties already, they can literally buy another property and get a bank to lend 100% of what they want to buy, purely based on the fact that they can cross-charge it with their own property that they already own.
Okay.
You see? So look at it from income and expenses. Then what kind of risks can crystallize, and what can I do to make sure that when those risks crystallize, I'll be safe and it won't affect my buy-to-let business. If you can do that, I can assure you that when everybody is crying and saying, look, my buy-to-let is wasted and all sorts of things, you will be jumping up and down and saying, look, I'm making a lot of money on my buy-to-let property.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds quite incredible. And just before we even begin to wrap up, there's another text saying that it says, I have adverse credit, and would I qualify to get onto the buy to let property?
Yes, you can. Okay. I'm not trying to encourage people to go and get adverse credit. It's not a good thing to have on your record. Yeah. However, if it is already there, then all you have to do is look at it like, okay, I hope I'm not insensitive. If you've already caught the virus, there's nothing more you can do apart from managing the situation. Yeah. Because definitely you can't maybe drain off all your blood or get the virus out in any other way. You have to find a way of working with it. So just I think at the beginning I did state that when it comes to getting financing, there are 2 continuums: people who have good credit and people who have adverse. It's very much in the middle where you have everybody floating. Yes, there are still people at the extremes, but that doesn't mean that the people at the extremes can't get the mortgages. Actually, I think 2 weeks ago, one of our partner lenders, we call them strategic partners, came in with a buy-to-let facility that is actually going for 4.99 for people who had adverse credit not less than 24 months ago. So if in any case, you had, say, maybe an adverse event, say, 2 years ago, you can actually borrow at 4.99.
Okay.
So it is not good to have adverse credit, but there is still a way out. So don't give up just because you have an adverse credit. You can still actually get something out there. Just work hard, work harder.
Work harder, work harder. So as William says, work harder. It's not the end of the road. You can still get out of the dark places in spite of the adverse credit. You've got to speak to the professionals, the experts, as to the way forward, what you can do and how you can get into buy to let. And so William, overall, how is the buy to let market looking? I mean, we've come out of 2020, we're in 2021. Are there any good pointers?
Yes, it is very active, really active. It's the reason everybody's trying to say, hey, look, please extend, the holiday.
The holiday.
Yeah, everybody's asking the chancellor to still keep picking up, the tabs for property buyers. Very much, if it wasn't because it was active, there wouldn't be any call for that, and there would be need for it. Yeah. But because it is active, everybody's saying, hey, look, please extend it. And as such, a number of people are actually going to be taking advantage. Okay, please don't quote me on this that he is going to be extending. But rumors are going out. Hopefully, come next week, the chancellor will be generous enough to say everybody will have the holiday, extended up to June. If he does, we will all celebrate. If he doesn't, then we will still have to, find out picking the tabs ourselves. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Maybe we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. No, I was saying that I don't know why I keep. Sorry about that. I was saying that. So does it mean that the stamp duty holiday has kept the more applications coming up and people buying more buy to lets?
Yes, and William is getting busier and busier.
Which he needs help, so maybe we might be.
I like this.
I've told him, I've offered myself to help him out.
To help, okay.
Yeah, with administrative duties.
I'll be the recruitment agency. So
wow, that would be wonderful.
Yes. So Koa Santi says very inspiring to know there's light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, bro, there is, and we've got to stay positive on that. So very, very key. And William, I mean, overall, is it a good time to have portfolios? Because I think in 2020 April, that is when that government tax whatever set in. So is it a good time to get a huge portfolio and grow more?
Nice question. Probably I'll need to first clarify. When it comes to what we call an interest cost relief, literally what the government legislated was that if in any case you own a residential property in your name, as a person, then you will not be able to actually take out, as in expense of your interest cost.
Right.
So let's say in a year you're paying a mortgage bill of say 12,000, then that becomes your business expense, and they can't allow it when it comes to taxation. The way tax works is that you get your net profit, that is your sales revenue, expense of take off all the expenses, then what is left is what we call your net profit. And that net profit is what is subject to taxation. What the government is saying is that if you pay 12,000 amongst your expenses, you can't put that 12,000 in your expenses before you subject, a tax rate. Now, that is completely different from the issue on portfolio financing.
Right.
The beauty with portfolio financing takes you back to, you remember when I said when you're going to be considering what to buy, draft yourself. Say, okay, what is the income? What is the costs? Then what are the risks that may occur? If you have those three, now for somebody who's buying one buy-to-let, you'll only look at one buy-to-let and say, what are these, what is that, and what is that, and then make a decision.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a portfolio, you have to look at, probably, depending on how many you're buying. If you're buying 100, then you have to look at 100 properties and ask yourself all those questions and answer them. Now, is there any time when it is good to do that? I think that answer will be whenever you're ready, then it is a good time.
Whenever you're ready, then it is a good time. I love that.
Yeah.
Vicky, before we wrap up?
No question here.
Okay. All right.
I've exhausted all my questions.
Okay.
Thank you, Vicky. That's very kind of you.
That's kind, yeah.
Because I know that, when I started flowing with the questions,
Yes.
I realized I was putting too much pressure on you. But if I don't do that, I'll forget.
Okay.
Oh.
So I had to, ask one question after the other continuously. But well done. In fact, you did a great job.
So
thank you. Thank you.
It's great. The whole thing is that he knows what he's doing. So it's I don't think he will struggle at all or be under pressure. That is what I know.
I tried, but I didn't succeed.
I know that I can go with him for another 3 hours. He will still be fine, and he will not crack. But great stuff. So before we go, we leave you, William. In terms of the overall picture as to getting into buy-to-let, what would be your advice in summary to people that have been, there are so many. I speak to people that it's like they are buying tomorrow, but that will take another 5-10 years. But I want to just find out, what would you've just given us a gist of what you have to do to get in and how and all those stuff. But what would be your message to people that have been sitting on the fence all this while and contemplating?
I've always advised people to actually invest in properties, because it's an asset class that literally introduced me to the finance world, and I've been taking a lot of time studying how it works, and then generally the whole market and how it operates. Now, should I advise people straight away to go and buy to let? I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
But I would say your first point should be looking at the risk end. If you're going to be buying a buy-to-let, you're letting it to one single family. What happens if, in any case, those guys can't pay you the rentals that you need to actually pay
the mortgage,
the mortgage and all the other expenses that are arising on your buy-to-let? If you have some sizable savings that can actually help you manage that, then that is perfectly okay. However, if you don't, then I would always say the route to buy-to-let does go through HMOs, and it does go through things like rent-to-rent. Those systems will take a lot of pressure on you, so much so that because you have already kind of spread the risk, literally it's about liquidity.
Yeah.
Because you need the liquidity to manage your buy-to-let. If you have a lot of liquidity already, then by all means, you can't fear buy-to-let, because you'll have two ways. The rentals will be coming in to meet the expenses, and anything that remains over and above, you can do with it whatever you want. But on the other side, there's what we call a capital appreciation. So literally now that leaves it to the market. If this year, I think by last year, Even London was talking of 2 to 3% capital appreciation until, a few people were saying, hey, look, London is going to tank again and all sorts of things. But even that, I think today or yesterday, Zoopla came up and said, look, property prices are actually rising, not falling, despite the circumstances that we are going through. The best way, I would always say, do not go directly into buying, say, maybe one single property to rent before looking at the risk end. However, you can buy rundown properties that people don't like. You can buy really bad, uninhabitable properties. Because you're going to be buying them really, really cheaply, then doing them up. By the time you do them up, you will already create let me say, there will be a buffer. And that kind of buffer is what you use to actually finance uncertainties. You could literally use a bridging finance facility, buy a rundown property. The banks will give you 100% of the refurbishment finance. Then when you refurbish it, you can put it on a buy-to-let if you want, but I would always go for a HMO end. When you do that, by the time that you finish your work, you remortgage it, and the money that that capital value that has appreciated, don't straight away go and party with the money. Reinvest that money, or put it to help you manage, a rainy day, and that way you'll always succeed in the property investment market.
Super duper. And whilst you were William, we're done, whilst you were talking, something pop up in my mind, as in you use the route of rent to rent, and I mean that's a discussion for another day, because that is a very clever way that you've just given our listeners, because is a route that many people don't even have a look, that it can lead to you getting into buy to let and all those bits and pieces. So it's a good one. If you want to hear more, know more, get good advice, please make contact with Mr. William P.W. Omony, and he is the director for Proactive Consult and also PWO Finance. They are financial brokers and also property accountants that will do the books the way property accountants, people that understand the industry, will do it. So I will urge you to make contact with them. PWO Finance on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. You can look out for William P.W. Omony. But Mr. Omony, you prefer social media, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Contacting you, okay.
But if anybody wants to call me, I'm okay with it. Okay. You have my number. You can always, give them out, and I'll be happy to help out.
Great. So, all right, you get a discount if you come through us, and your discount will be as good as just bending your fingers anywhere. Better advice, I can guarantee you. So, tonight we've been discussing buy-to-let and commercial finance. Know the truth, there are still opportunities, great opportunities. The world is going through some terrible challenges, but that does not mean that life will not be lived. We will still live through it and overcome it. I believe that this will come to an end, and we will all rise up one day and say thank you, Lord, for keeping us through. But you see, after that said and done, you still need a place to lay your head, some investments to do. So why don't you get the best advice? Why don't you pick up the phone and give us a call anytime? I mean, you can call the studio lines or send us a message either on our WhatsApp number is 07539 661744. That's 07539 661744, or you can send us, or you can call us on 0208 133 2257 or 0208 133 2258. Send me a message on any of our social media platforms, and we'll be more than happy to connect you to Mr. William P.W. Omony. Or you can also reach out to him on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook, and he'll be more than happy to connect with you. Okay, so Vicky.
Yes.
It's been. I can see. I saw you doing some. Notes. Putting some bits and pieces.
Yes,
down.
I was. Yeah.
Okay, possibly you'll be charged for that, and I'll see. Yeah, you have to.
I thought I was your PA.
No, not at all. I mean,
in fact, I'm just going to copy you in via email just after the show.
No, because you were making notes so much that your concentration was on the notes, which I picked up so much that you were making so much, and you see, this is more than even the university that you've been, because this will launch you into higher stuff. They groom us, put us in secondary to college and to university. We come out and we want to submit to 9 to 5, but when you discover freedom through property, as Mr. William has just given us some powerful information, I believe that you'll be more than excited to take it and run with it. So I believe that the notes that you've made, I'll give you 3 months. If I don't see anything, I'll charge you 3 times off. If that is agreed, Vicky.
Yes. Yeah.
Want you. No, we are on air across the world, across the globe. People are listening and watching. So I said today is the 25th of February 2021. The time is 36 past 8 p.m. And so I am saying that in 3 months, which is roughly going to be in May. So May the 25th, I'll come back and I'll check if the notes you made, you've not been able to take steps to let it materialize. I will charge you 3 times of your salary.
But Mr. Bossman,
yes.
The only issue I have is if I'm able to, win the lottery, then it's easier within 3 months.
No, there's no lottery here. You were very much part of the team when we spoke to the gentleman, Mr. Volta, and yes, he took steps that the ordinary person will not. They will be too scared, and so. In my opening statement, when I was introducing the program, I said that the battle is won in the mind. So property looks so lucrative, but you've got.
I'll take your challenge.
You have to have a strong mindset to be able to tackle it and take it on, just like any other venture. So you can do it. I mean, don't be scared of the zeros. They are numbers that human beings have put together. You can also decode it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So we have witnesses across the world, and I will make sure 25th of May I'll come back.
I'll see you in your office tomorrow, please.
And that has to be done. And William, what I'm saying, am I saying something extreme?
I wouldn't say I completely disagree, but the lady is already confident enough, and I'm sure she's going to be taking the steps.
No, she was being negative, and her last statement that she wanted to give an excuse, and there's no excuse. Excuse takes us into excusitis. That's a kind of syndrome. So it shouldn't be part of anybody that wants to do well.
Okay, no. So May 25th.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be checking it, and I think I'll be also phoning Mr. Kumi to make him aware that.
Mr. Bossman, you are going too far. I thought it's between the two of us.
No.
Yeah.
The 25th. I'll tell him. I'll tell him that.
Traffic.
Yes, I'll tell him that. Mister, please don't be offended if I become too harsh on Vicky, because
I know you want the best for me, so I don't have any problem.
There's a story as I end. I know we've gone over our time, but this will encourage somebody. There's a king that was looking for somebody to marry the daughter, and he said that because the king did not have a heir as a man to the throne, so he was looking for a responsible, a courageous, fearless person. And so they lined up across a pond which was filled with crocodiles, and he said that anybody that can swim to the other bank of the river, that person will be given my daughter and also half of my kingdom. So there were these young men that were all talking and chit-chatting and all the stuff, and by the time this young man realized, one of them was pushed into that pond, and he had no choice than to swim. So in the midst of all the crocodiles, he swam to the other end of that river. And when he got over to the other end, he was asking, who pushed me? That was his question. Now, he had crossed because somebody pushed him. You understand? So sometimes people will push us into things that maybe your mind is not ready for, but when you are in, you've got to fight, and to be able to make it, you have no choice to turn back. You have to bend the bridge, that this is myself and I and me to make it happen. Have a very good night. And let me read one more comment. It's saying, Kwasanti said, Mr. Omony, kindly put your social media handles out so we don't get charged. Even PAs are charged for note taking. Okay, so that's coming from a friend and a brother. So I mean, he wants Mr. Money to put it out there. He's not going to put it, but you can search William P.W. Omony on social media and connect and or PW Finance, and you'll be able to get hold of him. Thank you, guys. It's been a great time. Mr. William, thank you for coming tonight. It's been fun, and I hope that we'll catch up soon. Thank you for your time. We highly appreciate that, and for coming on. Yes, Vicky, it's been a great night.
It's been a pleasure. It's been lovely.
Thank
you so much.
Wonderful. All right. Okay. Yes. So it's been the Property Hour show. We are wrapping up now. We've had a great time talking about buy-to-let properties, where we've discussed also commercial finance. So if you're looking to get into buy-to-let property, do not look far. Get in contact with myself or Vicky, or straightforward, you can go to Mr. William P.W. Omony and he will be able to look after you. PW Finance, search on all the social media handles, or Proactive Consult. They will be able to look after your property books and make sure that you do the right things and you don't get into trouble when it comes to accountancy. So great stuff. Let me acknowledge our sponsors once again before we bow out. We've been sponsored by Cornerstone International Group Limited, trading as CIG Properties, and they are a property management company based in the UK, and they also represent other companies that if you're looking to buy properties overseas and also globally, we've signed up a partnership that if you're looking to buy properties across the globe, we'll be able to connect you and make sure your next move is done in the smoothest way, where you can relax and chill out whilst we do all the hard work for you. So you can contact CIG Properties. CIG Properties is www.cigproperty.uk.com. So it's www.cigpropertyuk.com, and send us an email or call us. Give us a call on 0208 Oh, 0203, I beg your pardon, 916-5588. That's 0203 916-5588. And also we are sponsored by M&M. M&M. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Concept. M&M Concept. They are graphic designers. The amazing flyers you see, they are the ones that design it, and also they also design your books and all prints, every print work. They will be able to help you out. You can make contact with them through us. That's on the studio lines 0208 133 2257. They will give you amazing discount. They are based in Ghana, but their quality they would not compromise. So make contact and they will do the best for you, for value for money as well. And also, last but not the least, we are sponsored by Caris Furniture, based in Atlanta, Georgia. Caris Furniture is a global name when it comes to the industry. When it comes to furniture, your birds, your everything that has got to do with furniture. Please look no further. You can grab them and connect with them on social media. Type Caris Furniture. Caris that's KHARIS Furniture, and they'll be able to give this. They deliver across the globe as well. They'll do some fantastic offers as well. And also Mayor Associate Project Managers based in Ghana. Mayor Associate Project Managers based in Ghana. They, from start to finish of your next project, if you're looking to build a hospital or your residential property, they will be able to start and finish for you, whilst you rely on people that will cause you heartache. Why don't you give them a call today, or just give us a call? 0208 1332257, 0208 1332257. And let me say a very good night and thank you for joining us this evening. It's been a great pleasure having you join us. I appreciate everyone that has taken you've stayed with us throughout. Thank you so much. My uncle has joined us, and Uncle Kwejo Sako Diafrimpo. Uncle, thank you. I salute you. Thank you for joining us on tonight. I believe that you'll be able to do either a playback. I know you were listening, so if not, Mr. Omony is ready for you. Thank you. Good night. God bless. No stress. Next week, this Sunday, join me. I have a powerful man of God joining me on Faith Talk, 5 p.m. UK time. And please, you've got to connect this Sunday. Oh my, we're talking about your faith, my faith, our faith, and on Faith Talk on Sunday 5 p.m. Thank you, and join us next week for another amazing time. Have a good night.
God bless. Bye-bye. Stay blessed.
All right then.
Bye.
So I'm out now, and let me see. Which one do I play? Nah, let me go. Let me do. Yeah. Okay. Some African tune and just instrumentals. Enjoy it and have a good night. God bless. No stress. Nothing less. This KBA Bossman. A privilege serving you.